So President Trump organizes and arranges one of the most significant peace initiatives in the Middle East since Jimmy Carter tried at Camp David. President Trump actually succeeded. Monumental. It was incredible. What does Nancy Pelosi say? Oh, it's just a stunt, so you get our attention off the pandemic. But Chris Rock says, not so fast, Nancy. Not so fast, honey. Comedian and actor, and I'm just going to go ahead and add social commentator, Chris Rock called BS on Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. He was giving an interview, I believe it's with the New York Times, but The Hill reported that in this interview, he said it was totally up to Pelosi and the Democrats. Their thing was, we're going to impeach him, referring to the president. They allowed the coronavirus to come in. It's the Pelosi pandemic. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Now, of course, we certainly know that Chris Rock is no friend of the president, not a supporter, doesn't agree with him ideologically or politically. But he does get it. If you remember, it was January when we began to start getting these reports about what was happening over on Wuhan, China, regarding this outbreak of a virus. And it began to kind of trickle our way. And we were getting it in little bits and pieces. And even at that time, Dr. Fauci was finally being asked by some news outlets, as you know, the director of the Infectious Disease Center Control, whatever all of the initials mean. And he basically said, that's over there in China. There's really no need for us to worry about it.
Dr. Fauci, coronavirus, of course, has been in the news so much. People are worried. Should they be worried? Are they worried unnecessarily? And what should they be doing?
No, I don't think people should be frightened. I mean, the risk right now, today, currently, is really relatively low for the American public. But that could change because what's going on outside of the United States, particularly obviously in China and in other countries in which there are travel-related cases, that this could evolve, and I think it would be unrealistic to deny that. This could evolve into a global pandemic, which would then have significant implications for us. So although we don't want people to be worried now, I think we need to realize that this could change. So right now, don't worry about it. Be more concerned about influenza, which is going into a second peak for the season. Be more concerned about influenza, which is going into a second peak for the season.
In late January, going into February, the president acted and he set up travel restrictions from China. He was immediately berated and chided by Andrew Cuomo, de Blasio, Chuck E. Cheese Schumer, Nancy Botox Pelosi, that he was a xenophobe and this was a racist policy. And Nancy Pelosi went to Chinatown to tell people, you don't have to fear the virus. Come to Chinatown. The president's just trying to distract from the impeachment.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi told me she came here to Chinatown to combat fear.
That's what we're trying to do today, is to say everything is fine here. Come, because precautions have been taken. The city is on top of the situation.
She has been going around to show that it is perfectly safe to be here.
We do want to say to people, come to Chinatown. Here we are. We're, again, careful, safe, and come join us.
And then once the impeachment went down into colossal fail, which it was destined to do, and Jerry the Nads Nadler and Adam Schiff for brains, totally per usual, bungled it, and the American people were ready to just be done with all of this. Shazam, poof, coronavirus. And the Democrats seized an opportunity to shut down the government, to create the recession that I told you months ago they were going to do to try to kill the economy so they could unseat President Trump. And I was told by everybody, including Rush Limbaugh, you're crazy. This economy is way too strong. The Democrats cannot create a recession. They can't manufacture a recession to make it happen. I personally thought somehow because the Wall Street world and the banking world still love the Democrats, you would think that their guy would be Donald Trump. After all, it's what the media tells us, that he's just this corrupt businessman and, he's, part of the billionaires club. But yet the billionaires club rejects Trump. In fact, Trump's not part of any of the inside stuff. He is the ultimate outsider. He is the blue-collar billionaire, the guy who is more comfortable talking with the dudes on the construction site that work for him and having a beer and a slice of pizza with them than he is, hobnobbing with all of the rich elite at Mar-a-Lago. President Trump is really very much a down-to-earth guy, and he's not a quote-unquote, and this is what we hear from the never-Trumpers, he's a fake conservative. He has put through more conservative agenda than Bush Daddy or Bush Jr. ever got through. In fact, he's put through more of a conservative agenda than Ronald Reagan got through. Can you imagine what Trump could have accomplished his first term had he actually had Republicans that worked with him and the Democrats weren't constantly either hyping up Russian collusion or trying to impeach him? Can you imagine what Trump could have accomplished? Could you imagine where we would be right now had they not seized on the flu part 2 as a way to create mass hysteria and convince you are going to die? And Chris Rock is absolutely right. Democrats, you own this. You want to gripe and complain that the president didn't act fast enough? Well, you were the ones playing the whole impeachment game. And then when that blew up, you took the flu and turned it into the killer virus, and Democrat governors got in line and they're willing to kill their own economies because they've been promised, once Biden's in there, that all kinds of federal aid is coming their way to bail them out. Here you go. Chris Rock, social commentator, gets it exactly right. It's the Pelosi pandemic. Hey, that's it for this rant. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. We got another video on the way.